Hello guys, this is Esther and finally I am doing my very first video. Unakusha kabo misalon people learn how na only do, I hope na only do well, na only do fine. And to my international viewers from Liberia, Ghana, Nigeria, Uganda, Zimbabwe, the US, I could go on forever. And how do I know this? You guys tell me in the comment section, you guys send me DMs. I appreciate you guys so much, and I want to say a big hello to you all. This first video is more so like a trial for me to test the technology because as much as I know tourism, I can't say the more. I can't say the same about technology. So I'm trying StreamYard to see if this is the best platform for me to be creating my content because most of it going to involve me talking on different topics when it comes to tourism. But shortly on what I'm going to talk about today is to talk about why I'm doing this, talk about what TOTS is and what TOTA is. Just wait for it. I'm going to explain to you guys. And then I want to just touch briefly on everything we're going to be talking about on this platform. I know I wrote a post about it sometime, I think day before yesterday or yesterday, but I noticed that most people don't read the full post. They just look at picture, they like, and they comment. But I'm hoping that with the videos, people will take their time to actually listen and get the knowledge I'm trying to get out. So that's why I'm going to be repeating some of the key topics that are going to be discussed on this platform. And then I am going to attempt, well, when I say attempt, it's not that I'm going to do it from scratch, but I am going to talk about the definition of tourism and why you need a very good definition to get it right with tourism. Because after all, this video is to help you to get it right. And the purpose of this video, or the people that I'm hoping this video will help, are people in the industry already. Either you are a student, you are a business owner, a practitioner, an employee, or just somebody that loves tourism to get it right because fundamentals are very important in tourism. And now, most of the salon people are maybe wondering why I'm speaking in English. I said it already earlier, it's because of our international followers. This is now the international platform. So, why I'm doing this now, 2020 the pandemic hits, everywhere was going to shut down, and the sector that was hit the hardest was the tourism sector globally. And now, when we talk about the tourism sector, most of the times we're talking about the revenue it generates for each nation, and these revenues are generated by tourism businesses that are running. And at the time, I felt so bad for them because they're the one that are hit the most. For the tourists, it's more about, oh, let's keep it safe. For them, there's nothing lost there. But for the ones organizing the tours and everything, the flights, the destinations, they were the one that was suffering the most. So I felt like, oh, this is my area. I consult on this most times. I should just go there and talk to people. So I started making videos on Facebook and posting them from my own personal Facebook. Now the reception was quite good. I'm not going to lie. People responded, they shared the videos. I got so much feedback. I actually got people start working with me through that. So I'm grateful for what happened, but because of personal reasons, life caught up with me. I couldn't continue. But me doing this again is me following up on that. And I love sharing knowledge. I love to just, let people know what I think and feel about certain topic, especially with this one being so close to my background and what I've been doing the past couple of years. So about me, like I already said, I love everything tourism. My passion is traveling. And since I knew myself, I love experiencing new things, and traveling allows me to experience new things. So my love for traveling translated into me just wanting to study about why people travel. And that got me to study destination development up to master's degree here in Sweden because I live in Sweden. And I do speak Swedish too, just a fun fact. So that is a little bit about me. Now, after studying so much about tourism, I wanted to just go out there and help people. So I started my own consulting firm, Faven Consulting. Ta-da! Courtesy of Faven Consulting, today's tea. So I started my consulting, but it's just more like a freelance thing because I do have my 9 to 5 job, so I don't work with my consulting 100%. But when I do have clients, I do put on my consultant hat and then do it. So that's a little bit about me and why I'm doing this. Now, I mentioned TOTS, TOTS, talk on Tourism Salone. And there, the purpose or the aim for that was for me to just come on this platform, talk about everything that has to do with tourism, but within the confinement of Sierra Leone. And that's still the plan. However, I've noticed that people are reaching out from Nigeria, Ghana, Liberia, all the way to Uganda. And I'm like, whoa, wait, what's going on here? What can we do about it? Sounds like okay, if it's not talk on tourism Sierra Leone, it has to be talk on tourism Africa. So it becomes total. I sound funny. I hope I sound funny. But it becomes talk on tourism total. Now I don't know exactly how I'm gonna use these different um titles or tags or hashtags. I don't know when and how, but I hope with the different contents that I'll be producing, with some that are more applicable in the general terms of Africa or anywhere in the world, I could go with Jota, talk on tourism Africa. And if we're just talking Sierra Leone, we would do that. Now I can see me using totes when I'm talking about current issues, when I go in and talk about, how we work with governance within tourism, especially in the areas of DMO. And being that Sierra Leone is my birth country and my homeland, it's close to home. It's easier for me to use Sierra Leone as my baseline to make illustration on how certain concept can be implemented. So please bear with me for my foreign listeners and for Miss Salon people there. It's a bit confusing beginning. It's also confusing to me, but I just thought it sounded cool. Total. But anyway, that's a little bit about those different terms now or tags. So, what are we going to be talking about on this channel? Like I already mentioned in, I think, like I said, the post from yesterday, the day before yesterday, we're going to be talking about tourism development, my baby. Because I am a creative person. If you say blue, I will give you 10 things you can do with blue. That's me. So that's why I love tourism and development. Now, when I talk about when we're going to be talking about tourism development, of course, there's so much to talk about. But I just want to highlight a couple of things that I want to just dig myself into. One is DMOs, destination managing organizations or destination marketing organizations. You guys can already see how excited I get when I talk about those two. Now, there's so much to talk about this, but the general knowledge I want you guys to get already here. And please identify yourself if you're working or if you own a DMO. Now, managing most of the times goes towards creating new products or assembling products or identifying attractions and all, while marketing is more on promotional touring and all of that. They promote. Sometimes they all function under the same label, or sometimes they're just two separate. It all depends on the destination and who's working with it. And I'm also going to be talking on the tourism development. I'm going to be talking about tourism product. This is my forte because everything about tourism, in my opinion, all boils down to how good the product is. If your product is good, and you have a well-defined client and market, which I'm going to talk about in a moment, it's easy to do tourism. But if your product is a mess, and here I want people, especially my people in Sierra Leone and some other parts of Africa, just because you have the natural resources doesn't mean you have a product. It's two different things. So now, what we're going to be talking about is what is a tourism product, what is a tourism, well, let's start. What is a tourism resource and how it becomes a product? And I'm going to have different sessions talking about that to help people that are in that are either working for a DMO, and I forgot to say a DMO can be privately owned, publicly owned, or a combination of both. So, yeah, back to the product, the product design and everything. So it falls under that. So if you are working for DMO or you're a company, you need to to watch those videos, those comment videos, because it helps you to either rethink your product or start thinking about how do you design a new product. Now, if you feel like, okay, you know what, I need a more in-depth help, reach out to me. I'll definitely help you out. But the second thing we'll be going to be talking about is tourism types in tourism markets. Now, those are two distinct different things. The type of tourism and the type of market are two separate things, because you might have let's say, for example, let me use Sierra Leone because it's so easy for me to use Sierra Leone as an example. Now, Sierra Leone, we have different tourism types of, well, we have different potential tourism products that we can deliver because of the resources we have. And I don't want to go into details why I say that, but we have different and they're not being developed yet. They are in the raw states, and unfortunately, we are promoting the resource and not the product. But let's take one very popular resource, which are the beach, the nice weather in the beaches, right? We If you have that product, that type, that tourism, and the tourism type for that is in what in Swedish we call solo board, somebody that just want to sunbathe and just swim. Now, if you are going to promote that product, you have to define your market. You have to know which market you're going to define that. You cannot, for example, take that product and marketing it to, let's say, somebody in Turkey, somebody in Italy, because they have that, or somebody in Spain. It's easier for them to get that. So you need to go and find somebody that is willing to pay for that product. Now, you cannot take that product just because you might be thinking, okay, we need people that are in colder climates to come over here. That doesn't mean that you can take that and go and promote it, let's say, for example, to somebody in Antarctica. I don't know if people live there, but you cannot do that. So you have to you have to understand what type of tourism you have in your destination, or your company produce, or whatever. You understand your type of tourism and you understand the market. So I'll be talking about different type of tourism and types of tourism, which are there and which potential market and potential target group they should be targeting. And that's going to fall under that. But I'm also going to be talking about current issues within tourism. Now, the pandemic was the top of every tourism issue for the last 3 years. And thank God we're done with pandemic. So that is being discussed, but not so much. It's more in the aftermath of it. But my intention is to talk about current tourism topics, especially in the case of Sierra Leone, is to look at how can we develop tourism. What are the malpractices that we have in the tourism sector right now? What is holding us back from going for? What is holding us back from going to our greater, to be successful in tourism? Let's say that. What is holding us back in this our growth in the tourism sector? I'm going to be talking about governance issue. Because right now we're going through an electoral process, and in that process, parties. Well, we have two main parties. Both parties are producing their, well, they've already established their manifestos, to just go in there and see, okay, this manifestos, who's talking about tourism, who's trying to help. Those are the current issues we're going to be talking about. But also trends, what is happening in the region, what is happening in Sierra Leone, what is happening outside of Sierra Leone in the region. I'm going to be talking about that. This is it will be a balance of more hard topics and then fun topics. This will be an area where I might be even presenting businesses and say, oh, this business is doing great, we should check this one out. So that is on the current tourism issues. And the best part comes here, that is opportunities in tourism. Now, most of the times when we talk about tourism in Africa, we think about a white person coming to Africa, paying money, and then you if you own a business, you make money out of it. That's one opportunity, right? Having a business in tourism, but there's also opportunities in working as an employee on within a tourism sector. So here I'll be giving out like tips. I'll be giving out advices, general assessment, not individual assessment of different trends, different tourism markets, different tourism products, helping people that are already in the tourism sector to help get their product right. But if you're looking at being an employee, I'll be also helping. Now, this brings me to something that somebody highlighted in the comments area, customer service. This person, and I'm paraphrasing now, says, Esther, why can't you talk about, oh, well, Esther, talk about customer service because it's so bad in Sierra Leone. And my brother, I feel your pain. It is bad. And this is something I want to talk about. And under this opportunities part of my talks, I'm going to talk about how, as a customer service person or business, how you can use customer service as a business to get money, to get more clients, but also as somebody working in customer service, how how the service you render can actually help you to elevate in your career. And trust me, I have endless examples of customer service wahala. I believe every African country understands when I say wahala. I visit Sierra Leone very often. And every time I'm there, I feel like I'm having a lecture. Every time I go out to restaurants, I literally, I think was it even the last time? Yeah, the last time I was there last year, I had to call the manager. I call a waitress just to have a session with them on how you give customer service. But anyway, I don't want to go too deep into that. So that's basically what we're going to be discussing on this channel or this platform. I don't know if it's a channel platform, but you guys are with me. Now, this doesn't mean that I'm the only one that's going to be talking. It means I'll be inviting people, my colleagues, friends, people I've worked with, or people that I feel like, okay, they best can illustrate or talk about a particular topic. So they're going to be on this with me. But also, I'm going to be inviting you guys because at some point I want to go live and hear from you what you have to say about that particular topic. So that is also, sorry, my phone. That is also something that we're going to be doing. Now, this is how you can start getting it right with tourism, by getting yourself informed, because information will take you long. If you know what you're doing, it's easier for you to success. Now, with that being said, I want to jump into the definition of tourism. Now, I'll just have to say this, being that I'm coming from an academic background, but also from an experience background. I would say academically, there's no consensus on the definition of tourism. And having been working with tourism, I think I understand because it's such a really broad sector. Almost anything can be tourism. So if you are just confined by one definition, it messes it up. And the thing about tourism, you have front end, back end, rear end, whatever, because you have different people working in different roles within the tourism. So you have to almost have a definition that fits every role. But one definition I'm going to show you guys today is a definition from the World Tourism Organization under the UN, because I feel like UN is a trusted organization, and their definition, in my opinion, kind of tries to cover some part of tourism. Well, let's say it covers 90% of it. But I would say at the end of the day, look at your role, what you're doing in tourism, and understand that, okay, even if this definition is this way, but maybe the definition that suits me have to derived from my own personal, or well, my industry or my particular part of tourism, my roles involvement in tourism. I know that sounds a little bit like gibberish, but you would understand in a moment, because I'll give you an example of how I define tourism based on my role. So now, with that being said, I'm going to share screen with you guys so you can read for yourself what the UN, what the World UN World Tourism Organization says about tourism. So one moment, please. Let's see. So there we go. As you guys can see, it's a very straightforward definition. It talks about tourism being a social, cultural, and economic phenomenon which entails the movement of people. Now, from the word and from the word the movement of people till the end of that phrase, I want you to underline it and I want you to put it down, because that is the core of tourism. Now it says entails the movement of people to countries or places outside their usual environment for personal or business slash professional purposes. That's it. My people, there we have it. But it kind of also embodies something I like to call the three A's in tourism, and I'm going to be talking about this also. Now, um, I choose three A's. They're actually five, but for me, I narrow it down to three A's. And one is because it might work, but also I think it makes it easier for a beginner to understand what tourism is about. One, accessibility, moving people from one place to another. Second is accommodation. And then thirdly is attraction. So now you move somebody from one place to another, you accommodate them depending on how long they're going to be in that unusual place, because they're moving from their usual environment to this unusual place. Or maybe they know this place, but you have to accommodate them. Either they're there for an hour, two, three, or maybe a month, you accommodate them with attractions. Attraction is my personal part of tourism, and that's what I'm going to be talking about a lot. But according to this definition, it says moving of people to one from one place to another place that is not their usual environment for a purpose, and the purpose can be personal and it could be business. And personal could range from everything from holiday to visiting family, yada 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 yada. And then business could be just going for a quick business trip, or maybe professional sporting, most people don't understand that sports is, you have sports tourism. It could also be going back to the personal reason. It could also be medical tourism. Like I said, different types of tourism, different types of tourism, different types of market. We're going to be talking about it. Now, this definition further says these people are called visitors. Visitors, not tourists first, they said visitors. Now, I believe this is not stated in this definition, but I believe we categorize visitors by calling them, as it says, a tourist or an excursionist or resident or non-residents. The categorization of visitors, like putting them in different categories, I think it depends on how long they're staying and their purpose of staying, in my opinion. Someone else might differ from that, but in my opinion, I believe how you categorize a visitor says why they're going, why they're visiting you, and what's the purpose of their visit. Remember that That's something we're going to be talking about a lot in other videos. Now, moving forward, it says, and tourism has to do with the activities, some of which involve tourism expenditure. And this is where it tries to bring in the economical part of it, the economic part of it, that when tourists come, they spend money, they spend the money, you make the moolah, basically. But this is the UN's definition of tourism. I'm going to go back to myself here. So now this is the UN. And like I said, for me, I firmly believe you have to define tourism for it to fit your role in tourism. My role in tourism is a consultant. I consult in tourism. So, and I consult specifically on tourism development, product development, product design, concept development, branding, restructuring, and all of that. That is my forte. So I choose, being that most of my work is to get your business to be more attractive to a traveler or to a potential visitor. Let's say, remove the word traveler, to a potential visitor. I define tourism as a person's desire to experience, because I am trying to create a product that a person would desire. I am trying to ignite someone's desire to travel. I am not trying to accommodate them. I am not trying to, take them from one place to another. No, that somebody else is going to do that. My work is to get them to make a decision and say, I want to travel to this destination. So I define tourism as a person's desire to experience whatever comes out of it. Experience a country, a destination, a culture, a music, a museum, you name it. It's endless, a person's desire. But like I said, that is just my definition of it because of how I work with tourism, my role in tourism. I am looking forward to hear what your definition of tourism is. So now back to the beginning of this video. Get it right with tourism. You want to get it right with tourism, get it right with how you define tourism based on your role within the sector. I want to thank you guys. I know this video is a bit long, and it's actually long than every other video that I'm going to be making, but I needed to explain a lot in this video. So thank you guys, and I can't wait to hear from you guys in the comment section. Thank you. Let's see how I find the end recording button here. But anyway, guys, I find it. Thank you and bye bye.